Welcome to 6th grade history. This is for lesson 145. We're on pages 280 and 281. And we are looking also at our map. 371 in the back of the book is the locations. And we looked at some of the countries on that. And so today we're going to review by looking. So if you will be on page 350, I will call out some locations that I want you to locate, put your finger on the map, okay? So 350 and 351 is the pages, and I want you to put your finger on the Baja Peninsula. I think we did the bodies of water last time. So the Baja Peninsula, everyone have that? Okay, right there off of Mexico, okay? The Yucatan Peninsula. Put your finger on the Yucatan Peninsula. All right, yep, the one that sticks right up there near the Gulf of Mexico. Okay, hopefully you found that. The Florida Peninsula. Okay, yeah, that one's pretty easy. Isthmus of Panama, put your finger there. Very good, right down there by Panama. Okay, right before South America. Then a couple of our mountains. I think I may have gone over these before, but then we're going to go into the cities. The Sierra Madre Occidental. Put your finger on the Occidental range. Sierra Madre Occidental. Yes, that one. That's the one on the outside edge. That's on the Pacific coast. What about the Sierra Madre Oriental? That's the one on the other side. It's on the Gulf of Mexico side. So if you go alphabetical, it goes Occidental, OC, and then OR. And so just do them in that order. So on your map, OC is on the outside edge, and then OR is on the inside edge, okay? Cities, I want you to find Mexico City, Mexico. Okay, it's got the star on it, very good. What about Monterrey? Okay, yeah, next to the north, next to the Sierra Madre Oriental. What about Chihuahua, Mexico? Okay. Find Guadalajara. Put your finger there. Okay, on the other side of the Occidental, right above a lake, there it is, okay. Acapulco, Mexico. That one's pretty southern. It's on the Pacific coast. It's below Guadalajara, okay. Managua, and that's Nicaragua. It's in Nicaragua. Where's Managua? Put your finger on it. Okay, it should be the yellow one that's below Honduras, okay. Panama City, Panama. Very good. Havana, Cuba. Kingston, Jamaica. Very good. Nassau, Bahamas. That one might be a little harder to find, but if you remember, the Bahamas are right off the coast of Florida. There you go. Good job. San Juan, Puerto Rico. Okay. Very good. There we go. I found it now. All right, and then the Panama Canal. Put your finger on the Panama Canal. Very good. All right, so now I want you to find some of these cities, okay, that are that we haven't located. Find Belmopan, okay? Belmopan. What country is it in? Belize, very good, okay? So that one is right below the Yucatan Peninsula. Now, Belize is an interesting country in Central America because if you'll notice, it's on the Caribbean side and the Atlantic and Gulf of Mexico. It's the only Central American country, and you can look at all of them, that does not have a Pacific coast, okay? It doesn't border the Pacific Ocean. Find San Salvador. Very good, it's in El Salvador, okay? So it's the other green, it's the green one right below it. Find San Jose. Costa Rica's capital there, that green one before Panama, okay? Find Guatemala City. It's in Guatemala. It's the yellow one right below Mexico, yes. And then Tegucigalpa. It's a hard one to say. See if you can find it. That one is the capital of Honduras. All right. So we're going to be looking at those countries. So if you can turn back to page 280, we'll look at these. Belize is the only country, as I said, that doesn't have a Pacific coast. But because of its location, it's plagued by hurricanes, okay? You may know that Florida gets a lot of hurricanes, Louisiana, Alabama, southern Alabama, Mississippi, even parts of Texas get hurricanes just because of where they're located. Belize also would fall in that place where the hurricanes kind of get in and then they destroy everything in their path, and they kind of stay there until they can blow out. And so that's how that works. So it used to be, the capital used to be Belize City, which is located along the coast, but a major hurricane destroyed it, much of it. So today the capital is Belmopan, that's located farther inland so that it doesn't get destroyed when a hurricane comes, okay? Another thing that is very interesting about Belize is it's the only country in Central America that Spanish is not the main language. English is. And so Creole, Spanish, and Mayan are also spoken, but English is the major language. It's also the most racially diversified. That means that there are so many different races that live in the little country of Belize. Mestizo, Africans, Maya Indians, English, European, Chinese, East Indians, Mexicans, Lebanese, a few German Mennonite farmers. And so it's really it's the culture there is a lot of different cultures combined, I guess, is how you would put that. And so many of the children go to church-operated schools. Agriculture, garment production, and tourism are all important to their economy. And so this little country is very unique in everything that it has. And so that's, it's pretty neat to read about that. Costa Rica means rich coast. And, you know, Christopher Columbus actually named it. And that's kind of neat, I think. And so it's a narrow country. It's got sandy beaches, white sandy beaches on the Caribbean and the Pacific side. Its capital is San Jose. And Costa Rica is also richer than most of the rest of Central America. And so then we come to El Salvador. It's the smallest country in the Western Hemisphere that is not an island. And it is, El Salvador means the Savior in Spanish. Which is a reference to Jesus Christ. It is the most densely populated country on the mainland. And it's also the only Central American country without a Caribbean coast, okay? So the Caribbean coast, we have Belize that doesn't have a Pacific coast, and then El Salvador that doesn't have a Caribbean coast. San Salvador is the capital there, and most of its industry. So let's see, the country has suffered under military rule and recent civil war, yet it is the most industrialized nation in Central America. And so San Salvador is the nation's capital and the largest city. And so they have lots of sports there, and so you would see auto racing, basketball, baseball, and their national favorite is soccer, okay? Which a lot of Mexico, Central America, South America, that is a very common one. Guatemala is our next country that we're looking at, and I have these names written up here, and I forgot to turn around. Belize, Belmopan, Costa Rica, San Jose, El Salvador, San Salvador, Guatemala, and Guatemala City. Guatemala City is, of course, the capital. And it is also Central America's largest city, okay? And Guatemala has the largest population of any Central American country, okay? And they are, they've got beautiful rainforests and tall mountains. About 2/3 of the country is covered with mountains, and many of them are volcanoes. And so it used to be the heart of the Mayan Empire, the Mayan Indians. And so there are still Mayans that live there, and agriculture is their main industry. So they do a lot with farming, but also farming, raising coffee, bananas, sugarcane. So maybe not farming that you're thinking of, like wheat and soybeans and oats and that sort of thing, but they still are considered farmers. And then Honduras is one of the poorest Central American countries, and its capital is Tegucigalpa. And it's also the largest city there in Honduras. And their chief export is bananas and coffee. And so Honduras, next time you guys go in your kitchen, you see a bunch of bananas, or next time you go to the store, if whenever this goes back to normal, but look at either the sticker on your bananas, or there might be something on the stem, but see if you can figure out where your bananas came from. That's kind of cool to see that. And then they actually had a pretty devastating hurricane in 1998 that killed over 5,500 people. And so that was a pretty devastating thing for their country. And that, I think, leads to them being one of the poorest, or the poorest, one of the poorest Central American countries, just because when you lose so many people, your economy just goes down. And so that's what you're reading today. So I want you to go back and make sure you read page 280 to 281. Tomorrow we're going to be looking at the rest of the chapter, 282 to 283. And we're going to read a little bit more about Honduras then, and the Nicaragua and Panama and all of that. So make sure that you are keeping up and looking at that map and studying it for a few minutes, and the locations from page 371. And we will see you next time.